Good evening. So here we are again. Another day. I'm actually in my room, though it is a little dark. Don't know why. Just a little mysterious today. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody. Had a good time with some friends. Went to Chili's, had a couple drinks. But what I really wanted to make this video about, and it's kind of another epiphany I had recently, which is about self awareness, right? And being aware of how you are and how you interact with others and sort of your shortcomings, but also your strengths and whatnot. Sort of kind of the whole idea of self awareness is being aware of how you're perceived by others and also how you exist as a person. And what's interesting to me is when people talk about self awareness, it's typically in the guise or under the perspective and analysis that you should be aware how you come across to other people. So don't say the wrong thing, don't do the wrong thing, don't look like an idiot or look stupid or say something stupid or say something ignorant or what have you, right? And so in a way for me, like I think self-awareness is a very complex thing. And more often than not, it has sort of negative connotations. So self-awareness is a good thing if you're using it as a tool to improve yourself, right? If you want to better your interactions with other people or be perceived in a more positive way, then being aware of yourself, how you come across, and sort of the things you do, it's great to be aware of those things and to change them for the better so that hopefully people are more accepting and more liking of you. For example, for me in particular, I tend to be sort of argumentative and I tend to kind of push a point further than I need to a lot of the time. And it's something I'm being working on and it's something that I'm becoming more self-aware of and that's a good thing. You should not sort of push ram your opinion down other people's throat. Like that's you don't want to do that. But what I've noticed is that self-awareness or too much self-awareness, if you're too self-critical, right? Too aware of how you are can almost be a bad thing. And what I mean is that if you're so concerned about how you're going to come across to other people, it's hard to be genuine. It's hard to be able to project yourself in a sort of carefree and genuine light, right? And then this is kind of something I noticed is that if you temper your actions and how you think about things and how you react and you're always so self-critical, you sort of become less you can kind of become less authentic, right? You're you sort of diminish your life and your happiness and your ability to be yourself out of fear that someone's going to see you say. It's kind of the old idea that like you're dancing in a store or something, or you're working, you're dancing, and someone sees you and you get all embarrassed. Like in that scenario, if you're too worried about the ultimate reality that someone's going to see you doing something and you're going to get embarrassed, you may not do that thing, which in turn might. And again, that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but it might sort of hinder your happiness or your ability to kind of express who you are and be who you want to be. And that's the thing about self awareness for me that I feel like, a lot of people don't realize is that, or don't, not don't realize, but don't sort of see that there's a duality to it, right? A certain self awareness is good. Too much self awareness, like anything else, is bad. It becomes difficult to not focus on your flaws, right? And what I mean is you should focus on your flaws, but you can't always see only your flaws. Because if that's all you see, you diminish kind of your life's happiness and your confidence and belief in yourself. So you want to make sure when you're being self-aware that you aren't too hard on yourself and that you try to kind of embrace who you are as a person and realize that there's a time to be self-critical and there's a time not to be. Sometimes it's fun just to kind of be in the moment and to kind of do things at kind of your own pace and sort of live your life in a way that is genuine. And there's something to be said for authenticity. There's something to be said for being aware of how you are, but also accepting that some things that may be bad in some scenarios aren't in others. And there's really no blanket approach to self-awareness. And I wish more people were self-aware in positive ways because I've definitely noticed with a lot of people and even me sometimes and my coworkers and that people tend to be very self-aware of their flaws or when they do something wrong or when they're being lazy or when they're not putting in enough or they make a mistake. They're always aware of that. They aren't aware when they make other people's days. They aren't aware when they do something good for someone else. They're not aware when they do something totally random and it makes someone else's day. It makes them smile, and it there's those are also qualities and events that you should be aware of. Um, that's kind of all I really wanted to talk about on this video. Mostly is just you know being aware of yourself and how you come across to other people, and being in sort of in tune with what you believe and think. Being able to differentiate between what I call positive self awareness and negative self awareness. Being aware of your flaws isn't always the most productive or helpful for you as a person and for your ability to grow. Make sure that you're aware not just of what your bad traits are, but also your good ones, and to address those and revel in the good qualities that you have about yourself. I think it ends up making you a much better person and it makes you a happier person. And that's really all I have to say. If you're watching this, thank you so much. I mean, this one's kind of short, but I'm working on it. But I just want to thank whoever's watching this, and I just want if you can like or subscribe or give a comment or whatever, just say hi. But most importantly, don't just be aware of your negative qualities. Be aware of the good things there are about you because there are good things about everyone. And we should be aware of who we are as a whole, not just our negatives or positives. And I think if we're more aware of our good traits, it gives us more hope and more confidence in changing our negative qualities, or at least coming to grips with them. Thank you and have a good evening.